about personality matrixels and charts. It's all about the bumps in your heart.
Hi, this is Ken Carver from Central Florida Outdoors. And last week we went to Wekiva Springs, and we started out at Wekiva Island and did the 2-mile trip up to Wekiva Springs and back. It's a nice easy run for the family. Wekiva Island's a kind of a party island. They have a bar and a restaurant there so you can get food. It's a nice fun little half-day trip for the family. But today we're doing the Rock Springs Run. We start out at King's Landing and we end up at Wekiva Island, and you can go to the Wekiva Springs on the way down. It's about 9 miles total if you go to Wekiva Springs, maybe a little bit over 9.5. And it's a hardy run. They tell you it's going to take like 2.5 to 4 hours, but it took us 3 hours to get to the halfway point. We took like a 20-minute lunch, and it took us almost 5 hours and 20 minutes to do that trip. So plan to get to the starting point at King's Landing at least by 9 o'clock in the morning. The boats are like only $60 for a 2-person kayak or a 3-person canoe. It's not really a trip where you want the kids to be paddling, but if you have a canoe, you can put a couple of youngsters in the middle and you'll have a good time. There are a few obstacles. Make sure that everyone's wearing a life vest if they can't swim, because you do have to, if you have a canoe, you're going to have to get out a couple places. A kayak, we never had to get out on the kayaks, but on a canoe, I believe you would have to get out and go under some of the obstacles. There are some fallen trees from Hurricane Irma last year. So this is a really fun trip. So let's go check it out. So we start out the trip at King's Landing in Apopka. This is just downstream from Kelly Park. There's a small store here where you can rent your kayak and canoe and pick up any supplies you might have forgotten, like water and snacks. And there's some souvenirs and information on the springs and the run. You start out on a short canal until you reach the river, and you head west downstream. At the 2-mile mark, you'll reach a turnaround sign for anyone renting a kayak or canoe for 4 hours or less. There are turtles, wading birds, and the occasional alligator along the way. We only let the dogs swim if the water was less than 2 feet deep and we could see 5 yards all around us. The Rock Springs Run is listed as a National Wild and Scenic River, so it is a really special place and a must-see if you like pristine wilderness areas. There are 3 campsites along the river. The first campsite, and the place where we took our lunch, is Big Buck Campsite. You do have to walk in a little ways to get to the campsite. It is the only campsite with a picnic table. There is a bear box, like in the other campsites, to store your food, and there is well water on a tap to clean your dishes and to clean up with. This place is very buggy, and I would avoid it for a lunch break. The next campsite is Indian Mound, and my suggestion is to stop here for a lunch break, since it's right on the riverbank and only about another 20-minute paddle down the river. The third campsite is the Otter Campsite, which is also along the river. Campsite reservations can be made by calling the Wekiva Springs State Park. There is plenty of shade along the run with some shallow places that you can swim. Right before you get to the Wekiva River, you will see a sign to direct you to either King's Landing on Wekiva Island or Wekiva Springs. You will need at least 1 hour if you want to go to the springs. King's Landing at Wekiva Island is where you will pick up the shuttle bus. Just go past the Wekiva Island launch ramp and look for the green awning that says King's Landing. That concludes our video on the Rock Springs run. Try to get out there early, around 9 o'clock. We got out there at 10:30 and we were rushed through the whole day. So get out there early, and thanks a lot for watching. Hit the subscribe button or the like button. We would really appreciate it. Until next time, we'll see you outdoors.